Hi everybody, this is Alchemist 2 and I'm back again with another book review. If you don't want to tune into this particular review because I'm going to give everything away, well not everything, but the back of the book actually says we're not going to tell you what the book's about, but sadly I'm going to just give you a little bit of a sampling of what Little Bee is about. You've got the story of two women here. You've got, of course, Little Bee from Nigeria, and Sarah, who is a journalist from the UK. And they come from two totally different backgrounds, but yet they're very strong, independent, resilient women. And Little Bee, she undergoes this horrible turmoil in Nigeria, and how she actually becomes a part of Sarah's family is really heartrending, and it leaves you completely aghast. I was just utterly shocked, and how Andrew wouldn't even do one thing to save Little Bee's life discusses his character. And Sarah is married to him, but unhappily so. And they have a little 5-year-old son named Charlie. And of course, Charlie won't take off his Batman costume. And we learn later why that is, but I'm not going to go into detail. But it's actually tragic, but so much like the innocence of a little child. All these characters are very interesting, and over the context of the book, we come to realize that Sarah is just not happy in her marriage, and she has every right not to be, because Andrew simply is not, he's just not a good provider, and he doesn't really seem to care much about Charlie. He seems to be off in his own little realm and just completely possessed by depression. And she falls for a man at work named Lawrence, and even Charlie likes Lawrence. And of course, Little Bee mentions that herself, and she's very astute. She's very intuitive, and she sees things that others don't, and the way that she speaks is very poetic and elegant and eloquent, and just the way that she uses her words is very powerful, and I can relate to her. I'm a kindred soul. I'm a bit of a bardess myself. The vivid nature of the story, that just her vocabulary is just absolutely exquisite. And Chris really illustrates this story marvelously, although there are a lot of parts that just make you cringe, literally. And you feel for Bee, and you also feel for Sarah, and you only want the best for all of them. And you realize that Bee's not her true name. Of course, she reveals her true name during the very last part of the story. Of course, Charlie undergoes some maturity as well. They all do. They all adapt. They all become who they're really supposed to be. Of course, Bee has to gain a new identity in order to fit in, quote unquote, in the UK. And what's so fascinating about this story is Chris, he talks about how Nigerian refugees or immigrants are very common. Actually, in Nigeria, they make the most egress to the UK every single year. When this was written, I forget what the percentages that he used, but it was just mind-boggling. And he talked about Jamaica being the second most country that tends to seek refuge in the UK. With what's going on right now in Syria, it brings to mind all of that, and our immigration issue here. And I don't know honestly where I stand with that. It's not a black and white issue, and it certainly isn't one that's so easy to tackle, especially not right now. But they're human beings just like the rest of us, and they deserve life just like any other being on this planet does. I don't care what their background is. And this is a tale of hope and faith and unconditional. She has an unconditional love, even for the soldiers. And I thought, oh my God, even after what they did to your sister, and what happens to her sister Nakuria is just absolutely, ugh. It's abysmal. It is just unconscionable. I'm not going to go into that, but it's just, when you're reading it, you think, how can she still be so forgiving and loving toward these monsters? And it's so interesting. The characters that she meets, especially within the detention center, they change her life too. And she goes through the process of trying to claim her identity, so to speak. And it's just really a fascinating, magnificent, magical, unbelievable story. And I can't wait to see this made into a movie. I know it's being made into a movie right now, but I'm very eager to see how this will be depicted, because it's just such a crucial issue in our time, especially over here in my country. And a lot of people don't want to talk about it because they feel it's very taboo. But I still think that people need to read this and understand that at one point in time we were all refugees. Even myself, my ancestors, they arrived on the Mayflower so long ago. And of course my great-great-grandfather, he was from Edinburgh. He was churched because he delivered milk on Sunday, and that was verboten. You did not do that. And his wife would not come with him, so in essence he was a bigamist, and he had to begin a new life with a new family, and had a big family. I really don't know what else to say, but it just brought to mind all of that, and my heritage, and the fact that my family we're full of very strong-willed people that just will never ever give up, and we continue through our faith and our hope and optimism that things will improve, and know that in essence we're all human. And she speaks about that, and she even talks about it. It is so sweet how she illustrates this. She sees a couple of a black man and a white woman together with a child that has tan skin, and she says that it's just a product of their love. And I thought, why can't we see it that way? Why do we have to use mixed race or mulatto or words like that are kind of derogatory? And well, actually, I don't, honestly, I'm probably going to get flack for this. I don't think the word mulatto is that derogatory. Mixed race, I think, is a little bit more. I mean, it might be a little bit more ambiguous, but I don't know. Maybe it's because I like to be politically correct, or I don't like to be politically correct. Forgive me for that. I like to be honest and straightforward, and I don't tend to be too terribly blunt in my speech, but I try not to offend other people. And she just sees things the way they are and how they could be, and I think that is just such a gorgeous example. And she's full of hope, and she's full of promise, and she has, I think she has the right idea and understanding that we are all human beings. And I love this book. It's just absolutely sensational. And if you have a chance to read it, please do. I'm sorry I gave away a lot of spoilers, but I didn't give away a lot of important points. There are some things that I didn't discuss, but still, Little Bee is probably one of the best books I've read in a long time. And with what's going on right now, it's incredibly pertinent and appropriate. So, until next time, everybody, live long, prosper. Ciao, tutti.